Welcome back to The Jump. I'm Rachel Nichols, alongside ESPN's NBA insider Brian Windhorst, and the man, the myth, the legend, former head coach in both Memphis and New York, Dave Fizdale, back in the building. We are so thrilled. I do want to start with your Knicks tenure, though, Fizz, because it's the first time you have been on this show since we saw you there on the sidelines. Parted ways with the Knicks after just 1.25 seasons as their head coach. Now, I want to make something clear. Because of the contract you have with them, you are not legally allowed to talk about everything. So the reason I'm not asking every question and he can't say everything is because we don't break the law here at The Jump. But I do want to know what part of your tenure was harder than what you envisioned when you first took the job.
I just think, for me personally, the toughest part was that I didn't fulfill what I went there to do, which was I really wanted to give the fans a relative team, a winner. And, the fan base was so awesome and so passionate about the team, and the fact that I couldn't get the team over the hump to where I wanted to get it to, that part is hard, a tough pill to swallow. But I'm really rooting for them. I really hope that they can get that team to where it can get to. Obviously, we all know that when the Knicks are good, the league is good, and like I said, I'm cheering for those guys.
The day that he was hired, the press conference that they had with him and Scott Perry and Steve Mills was one of the most uplifting days of the last decade for the Knicks. The plan that they laid out and that they were intending to follow, I was very excited about. I thought that they picked the right coach. Only Fizz knows how many other jobs he could have had besides the Knicks. It was multiple. And I felt like they were following that plan. And then it got derailed. And they were throwing a curveball when Porzingis said he didn't want to be there going forward. I agree with that.
You know how I feel about, though. There's so much that led up to that. You cannot put that just on the shoulders of Kristaps Porzingis.
But they also didn't have to trade him within 15 minutes of him saying that.
It's almost like they had a deal in place before they had that meeting. It's almost like that.
I just think that the team that if we would have listened, if they would have followed through with what they said they were going to do when they hired him, I feel like the Knicks would be in a really good place today, even though Porzingis gave them the curveball and even though they didn't get lucky in the lottery. Because I really do believe that that was the right path to take, and they wanted their fans to trust them, and they wanted to go slow and not take shortcuts. Then they lose out in the free agent market, and they take shortcuts with the way this team was built.
I mean, look, this is not necessarily the roster that, owner Jim Dolan came out and said in the your first year, he wanted a big free agent class. He expected free agents to get there. It was not the roster that you started this season with that maybe Knicks brass envisioned in their wildest dreams when they started. You did have, Marcus Morris having a career year. There were some players going out and doing them. What do you see as sort of how the Knicks can go forward with these guys they have signed? A lot of guys on short-term contracts, trying to just kind of make their mark before they know they get moved on again. How do you make this into a cohesive team?
Well, I think that they'd have really good young talent, and those young guys are going to keep getting better. I think they got to continue to draft well because they have a lot of picks over the next few years. And then with the veterans that they did sign, they have to figure out which guys they want to retain and which guys they want to move on from. But they do have a lot of cap space there, and they will have an opportunity to get back in the free agency market this summer. And so I really think they're in a good position. I know a lot of people don't, and a lot of people are down on them, but I actually think that they're in a good position going into the summer to make some good things happen for the organization.
Well, they might want to have a little bit more variance in the kinds of free agents that they sign. End up going at the same position for a lot of guys. Was a nice way to say that. It was okay.
It was artfully said. The challenge is that R.J. Barrett, he has a good-looking future, and I know you've spoken very highly of him.
Oh, I love him.
But R.J. is not Ja. And again, that's not the Knicks' fault. They got the third pick, not the second pick. If they had Ja and not R.J., we'd feel a lot better about their future. But where the difficulty is they have R.J. Barrett, who's a ball handler, and they have Mitchell Robinson, who's a rim-rocking center defender, and then they signed a bunch of guys who don't necessarily complement that thing. So again, I would say to the Knicks, you had picked your path, you were on your path, you drove off the road. Now, get back on the road. Decide what that road is and get back on it. And I don't know if the guys who are running the team are going to be allowed to do that, but they did have a good plan. And that's what's so disappointing about this is that I really felt like it could have worked this time. It's not just a pipe dream for that to say that happened.
What does RJ need to do so that his talent is what gets him through the next season or two as opposed to the environment around him?
Well, I just think that the way he works is he's going to get there. I'm not concerned about that. I think just becoming a more consistent jump shooter will open up everything for him, because I'm telling you, the kid belongs in New York. He can handle it. Nothing shakes him. He loves the moment. He gets to the rim against anyone. He makes plays for other people, and he really takes the challenge defensively. And so to have a kid that age already physically ready to do it, I just think it's a matter of time before his jumper catches up with the rest of his game. And once it does, the league better watch out.
Do you have any regrets when you look back on that year and a quarter?
I don't live in regret. I learn from mistakes, and I move forward.
All right, well, we'll see those when you get another head coaching job, which I know you will. So
Thank
we will
you.
see you learn from any of those mistakes and move forward.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.